Hello beautiful, welcome back to Nat's Beautiful Life. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my February wrap up. If you are new to this channel, hello, my name is Natasha. I do videos on books, bullet and art journaling, media, basically anything I want to do a video about because why not? And if you are gonna like this video and you like me and you want to see more, be sure you are subscribed so you never miss a video. You can click the little notification bell. I do post every Friday, however sometimes during the week there's a little extra video, and that way you'll be notified of that. Also click the like button because you know that really makes me feel nice to know that you like me. Alright, anyway, I'm gonna get into the books before I get really weird. I don't know. I think it's been very cold and gross and nasty outside, and today it is just like beautiful. It's a bit warm in the sun. The sun shines out, and so I'm feeling giddy about that. Alright, so I'm rearranging some bookies here because I did a video entitled the Reading YouTubers' Favorite Books of 2021. So if you'd like to know all of my thoughts on these 5 books, you can check out that video. It is up in the cards somewhere and also down in the description box below. I'm going to give you a one-word, one-sentence kind of preview of my thoughts on the different books. So here we go. This one, Open Water by Caleb Azuma Nelson. Breathtaking. Okay. Lizzie and Dante by Mary Bly. I thought this was going to be something else. The Stationery Shop by Marjan Kamali. Loved it, loved it, loved it. The Wild Ones by Nafisa Azad. Didn't love it. And my friend is actually borrowing this one right now. So Frenchman's Creek by Daphne du Maurier. Super fun, pirates, adventure, all kinds of great stuff. Absolutely loved it. Okay, so now let's move on. My February reading journal looks like this. It's all filled out, ready to go. So I'm going to be using this as kind of my guide and go through the books that are, because those books were kind of, I read them kind of mixed in between, so you know those books exist. Let's move on to the others. Us Against You by Frederick Bachman. I did this as an audiobook and I loved this book. It is the follow-up to Beartown, and Beartown is what I'm going to tell you about. It's an actual town, and there's another town kind of over. They're in the same, I guess, what we would consider a county in the U.S. Like there's different cities and stuff within a county, but within like this area, there are these, you know, 2 towns. But Beartown is the one we focus on, and there's a hockey team that the whole town just kind of bases all their hopes and dreams on, and there's a lot riding on it. However, during all of this, where they're working to get a new hockey stadium built that will help the economy and things like that, the hockey coach's daughter is raped by one of the players, and it sounds basic, but it's not. I love Frederick Bachman's writing, and I love how balanced he is in his writing. And there's so many other side things going on, but it just works. He has the best just writing, and he just gets it. Frederick Bachman just gets it. The audiobook is narrated by this lady here, and so is Us Against You. Same narrator, awesome, continues the story, but we move a little bit further on to some of the other side stories that were in the other one. You'll have a favorite characters, or character, and you'll have like characters that give you like all the feels. It just is a book that makes you feel, and I highly recommend them. My husband read the actual like book because I was raving about it so much that he actually read the book and gave it 5 stars. So I believe this is a book where audiobook, regular book, physical book, whatever, you're gonna love it. I cannot praise this enough. The next one on my list is Finley Donovan is Killing It by Elle Casamano. I did this as an audiobook, and this is not the type of book that I normally would read, but people were just like going on and on about it and how great and fun it was. So the premise is we have a mystery romance writer, and she's in a Panera, and things have not been going well for her, just like in her life, but she's in this restaurant talking to her agent and telling her about the new book and about the murder that's going to happen and all of this stuff. And they're talking about money and stuff like that because, you know, she's selling the book. Well, someone overhears and thinks that she is a hit woman and offers her money to kill her husband. But she's like, I'm not a hit woman. You've misunderstood what was going on. And the lady's like, no, here's where he will be, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Let me know when it's done. And she's like, I can't do this. But then she gets curious and she goes to where the man is going to be. And there's a lot of zany things that ensue, lots of suspenseful kind of things, and also problems of you're not a fill in the blank, so why are you doing this kind of thing. And I mean, like, that's true for you're not a hitman, why are you doing this? Why are you checking it out? You're not a police officer, why are you trying to do this? You're not, you know, fill in the blank. And I normally cringe and hate those types of things, but this was such a good time that it worked. And then as I'm listening to it, I'm like, you know what, this is great. I kind of don't think I'll continue. I'll just enjoy the book and move on. But the way it ended, I was like, oh, that's going to cause a great kind of story that's going to, you know. So I am looking forward to getting into that second book eventually via audiobook. The only thing about this audiobook, I did enjoy the narrator. However, I felt like the audio part was off. I felt like I had to continually turn it up and turn it down volume wise. So keep that in mind if you're doing the audiobook. And I do listen with headphones, but I did really enjoy that book. It was just 3-star for me, but it was still, that's not a bad rating at all. No. All right. So the next one, Black Girls Must Die Exhausted by Jane Allen. This is an audiobook, amazing narrator. So I've seen this book around just everywhere. Not just bookstores, but Target and stuff like that. I've seen the book, and the cover is beautiful. The title is just bae, because I'm just like, yes, they must. Like, I really just was drawn to it. But then I actually read the synopsis, and I was like, this sounds amazing. And the first couple of lines of the audiobook are, so when you hit 30, you do a checklist, and you make sure you're falling in line as you get older. Great job, check. Set bank account, check. Good man, check. And then you go to the doctor. And yeah, this book is so good. It's not just our main character, Tabby. She has friends. She has family. She has a grandmother who is awesome. But just the whole story. Now, there are certain parts where you're like, Tabby, what are you thinking? Like, why don't you understand this or what have you? But it is a way for you to get into a Black woman's head a little bit, I think, and so you can understand some of her questions or some of her fears or something like that, that maybe I'm not privy to because I'm white. But I thought it was done well. Her grandmother is white, and she has these deep conversations with her grandmother about things, and there's a part towards the end of the book where she has this conversation with her father about something that happened to her at work, and he just kind of helps put it in perspective for her, and it's phenomenal. I love this book so much. And then of course I listened to the second book, which just came out, I believe, either in January or February of this year, called Black Girls Must Be Magic, where we continue Tabby's story. I like the first one better, but I feel like the second one is just as good. if that makes any sense. It's shorter, it's a lot shorter, but we do have the promise of a third book, so a trilogy. So probably next year we'll get that third book, and I will be on it because I enjoyed these books so much, and the narrator is amazing. So moving on. All right. Then we had, The Black Kids by Christina Hammonds Reed. I got the audiobook, obviously, because I'm about to talk about the narrator. The narrator is Kiersey Clements, maybe? If that's not correct, I'll put it on the screen. I loved her. Great narrator. Absolutely great narrator. The trouble I have with this book, because it's not a bad book, it's marketed as something that it isn't. So this is marketed as taking place in the 90s, around the time of the Rodney King trials, what is the word I'm looking for, verdict, and the LA riots. And we have a girl who lives in an affluent neighborhood, who goes to a private school, and how it affects her and how people look at her differently. But that's not what this book really is. I mean, it is about that. There are other black kids and people of color in her school. It is, like I said, an affluent neighborhood that she lives in. She's grown up. When she was in kindergarten, she met these girls, and they're all white, and they just grew up together. And then, yeah, there's just a lot in the book. It is basically a coming of age story, and learning about your identity that isn't just you, but learning about the people who made you, kind of a thing. So in that, it wasn't a bad book at all. I was not expecting that, and I don't typically read YA coming of age stories, so it wasn't my favorite. However, I think it's very good, and there are some good issues that it tackles in there that are really powerful. So I don't not recommend it. I gave it like a 3-star, but again, I think that's because it wasn't what I expected. However, like I said, the narrator was awesome. And there's something else about this book. Oh yeah, this was something that I thought was interesting. So there's a lot of 90s references in it because it takes place in the 90s. But some of them are pretty obscure. So I don't think people who this particular book would be marketed towards, the YA group, would get them. So there was, kind of a situation there. I got them because I was there, but I don't know that kids born in the 2000s and beyond, or, a lot of kids, it's just amazing to me, that, kids under 22, 21, they're born in like 2005, 2010, kids are born. It's just crazy. That just gives you insight, because where I was born, there was a 19 in front of it, not a 20. But anyway, they don't think that they would get those. So maybe that's why they marketed it differently, to get older people to read it who would understand it. I don't know. The next one was Anatomy, a Love Story by Dana Schwartz. I did the audiobook. I'm reading this I read it for a video that's coming up called Most Anticipated, reading YouTubers' Most Anticipated Books of 2022. So I'm not going to go into it too much because I want to talk about it more in that video. But I want to talk about the narrator. There was a man and a woman. Most of the time you listen to the woman. They are Scottish, and it's delightful. It's so easy to listen to, and I really enjoyed the narrators. Here's a funny part about it. I normally listen to audiobooks sped up a little bit because I can normally read faster than I can listen to an audiobook, but at work, I can't stop and start reading. I listen to the audiobook while I'm doing things that will allow for that. And so I sped it up a bit. And so have you ever heard of or watched that movie Arthur Christmas? There is an elf in there named Bryony, who I love. And when I sped up this gal with the Scottish accent, it sounded like Bryony the elf was reading me the story, and it was delightful. Chef's kiss. I love that narration. So that's all I'm going to say about that. If you want to know my deep thoughts on the book, be sure you're subscribed. All right, what else we have? Hello Transcriber by Hannah Morrissey. This was a mystery that I read because I saw it and I thought that looked good. When I first heard about this book coming out, I thought it was going to be a nonfiction because it says it's based on experiences of the author as she was a police transcriber. Turns out it's a novel, and I was okay with that. I was like, oh, okay, well, it's going to possibly be about something that happens sinisterly through, like she's hearing things or whatever through the transcribey thingamajiggy. That was really scientific and smart. But no, she's a transcriber, so she works at the police station. That's how she hears about crimes, and that's how she meets police officers, and that's how she winds up getting herself inserted into a investigation. I gave it 3 stars because literally if I sat here and gave you point for point, plot for plot, and how it all came together, you'd be like, that sounds amazing, because it does. However, I don't know. I can't even tell you if it's the writing or what. It just didn't wow me as much as I had hoped. Maybe my transcribing, maybe my expectations were a little high. I don't know. But I did like it. I'm not gonna, I think if you're really into mystery thriller books, that would be the book for you. I tend to find them a little predictable at times, and I don't always enjoy them. I want to, but I don't. You know what I mean? And the writing is interesting, but it's not very complex. And I think that's why it just didn't do it for me. However, like I said, it was an enjoyable read. It didn't take me long. 3 stars. If you like mystery thrillers, I think you would enjoy it. Again, not necessarily my genre, but yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. I think another thing is it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a little bit more sinister than it was, but yeah. And I also don't like, I don't like books where someone who's not a police officer or whatever tries to solve a crime. Like, you know, like Murder, She Baked or something, where I'm a baker, I've seen dead bodies before, I'm going to solve this mystery. I don't like that, and it kind of had a little bit of a feel like that. Anyway, what else we have that I finished this month? This one. The Brown Girls by Daphne Palisade Andreadis. Oh my word. Well, how do I not know? Book is also for that video, reading YouTubers' most anticipated books. So I don't want to say too much about it, but I will say this is prose. When you pick this up, you're not going to get like a linear novel, you know, things that happen. You're going to get prose, and it's beautifully written. And that's all I'm going to say, because I want to save all my thoughts for the other video. And I did like it, so don't think I'm like, this is trash. No, that's not how I feel about it. But I do have like in-depth thoughts about it that I'm going to save. All right, I think that's it. I think that's all I read. I read those 5 for that video, and then I hit 2 for the next video. Or not the next video, but the next TBR type video. And yeah, I read some good stuff this month. And I also have been plugging away at Robin Hobb's Assassin's Apprentice. I started that in January, but I've had to put it down here and there because I'm reading the other books for videos. And then I'm a good way into it. I am enjoying it, but I think that's it. Yeah. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you again very soon right here on Nat's Beautiful Life. Have a great day, gorgeous.